Fabrice Moussus. I am a French citizen, and I worked for ABC for almost 30 years. I started working in New York City, then moved to the Cairo bureau for about 3 years, which was kind of an introduction to the Middle East, covering Lebanon at that time. I then went to the Frankfurt bureau, where I stayed for 10 years. The Frankfurt bureau was opened after the Iran hostages. The Frankfurt bureau was a travel bureau, especially in the 80s, early 90s. We traveled intensively throughout the world. And in the mid 90s, I moved back to Paris. And I stayed there until they closed the bureau at the end of 2004. If there is one event that I covered in my career, which I can remember, and I'm sure many people can, it's the assassination of Egyptian President Anwar Sadat on October 6, 1981.
Things were progressing nicely, and the parade was almost halfway. We were halfway through the parade. There were jets roaring overhead in a very low fly path, a rather frightening one. When suddenly a grenade was thrown, it took seconds to realize that the bullets were for real. A spray of bullets aimed directly at the Egyptian president, the vice president, the defense minister, and their entourage. Utter pandemonium broke out.
It is now part of history, and I've filmed it under dire circumstances because I ran parallel to the assailants, terrorists now we call them, who were shooting with Kalashnikov and hand grenades. It was actually short, intense, and it's all about concentration. I concentrated on the visuals, which is why I was there. And obviously, you have all these emotions that come to your mind, the sound, the bullets whizzing by, and you suppress those thoughts and say, I will deal with them later, which is what I did. And in retrospect, it's easier, it's more difficult, although, to deal with it later. I've been asked many times about the fact that when you're shooting, it removes you from the physical danger or what is happening in front of you. I can understand that, but I didn't feel that at all. I was very aware of the danger that was taking place. As a matter of fact, it's amazing how fast the human mind works, because I thought I was taking a calculated risk in the sense that I was running almost parallel with the gunman. And I thought that when you're shooting in front of you, you don't stop to shoot to the side, because then you leave yourself open for other people to shoot you down. So they weren't going to take the time to pause and shoot to the side where I was. So in a way, I was like one of them until, of course, we came close to one another. Yes, I think one of the things that has changed over the years, and it's normal that things do change. You can't hold on to everything all the time. What has changed is there's a innocence in a way that has gone out of the window, in the sense that the politicians, the army, the terrorists have become a lot more sophisticated, and they understand how television works. They understand how pictures can be held against them. So they're very careful, and they're not always eager to have us near them. Where before, yeah, you were there and hey, be my guest, you could go wherever you wanted to. I think that has been lost. Um, what has been lost also, there was a time when you were working for ABC or an American network and you went somewhere, people in various countries automatically assumed that you were working for the government. So we had to explain to them that we were, a private network, a commercial network, that we didn't work for the government and our views did not reflect the views of Washington. That has gone out of the window a little bit because there are certain networks who are very opinionated. And so that neutrality that a lot of journalists had, I imagine it's still there for some of them, but for many, it's not there. There are people who feel that a press card is a license to do politics. It's true that for many um, governments, many militias, but sometimes also humanitarian groups, they will have their own cameraman, right? Or someone is able to make pictures. So that for us to be there is kind of repetitive, and that way they can control exactly what they want to show to the rest of the world. But the networks have also played a role in that, which is they're saving money. So sometimes they're all too happy not to send you there and take the pictures from any organization. They have their own video units now. Does that make them professional? Does that make them journalists? Uh, Not all the time. One of the aspects of working for ABC and in television news was the people we ended up working with. The element of sound and sound recordists is a very important one, and certainly very underestimated. You notice it when you don't have the sound. A sound man was protected your back when you were shooting. He was a companion because when we were on the road, we spent more time with our sound man than we did with our families. And they were able to make a difference in the stories because sometimes the sound that was crucial didn't come from in front of the camera. It came from behind or to the side. And they were able to get it and to filter the unnecessary sound. A great advantage to having a sound person working with you was that not only they would, watch your back, but at times, you had kind of tunnel vision with your eye on the camera. They could see a shot or they could see something coming that you were not aware of. So they were very instrumental. And there were times where sound in a story or in a shot was the most important element. What an array of people, of personalities, of nationalities. It's amazing. I mean, if you stop to think, I never counted, but so many people who um, were influential in to my personality, to my taste. I learned from them because we had great professionals that we had the chance to work with. And the reality is also that there are people we didn't get along with. But that's okay too, because I learned from that. So I'm grateful to all the people I ever came in contact with at ABC.